Ikaw ang aking pagmana.
(1523), 497 days after the coalition was made apparent. Historically, the year following Sebastian Elcano's return to Spain marked the slow consolidation of European resolve. The Spanish crown now possessed the exact nautical logs of the islands that will let them bypass the historical splitting of the earth between that of Spain and Portugal. They knew there was gold in the islands of this new lands, and now they knew how to circumnavigate the world. In the span of 2 years, Horizon Actual has developed a robust coalition or confederation of various city-states and surrounding coastal tribes. Using his new weapons and cannon, he is starting to amass a massive army and navy trained in his modern tactics and training. Gathering not just Lapu-Lapu's fierce warriors, Cebu's converted raiders, and the combined might of the vast Tondo holdings and the rich ports of Maynila. With his new cannons, armor, and most of all rifle, he has amassed one of the strongest forces in all of the islands and is now poised to expand and consolidate his influence and might. The dream of unification was now starting to bear fruit. Under his leadership, Mactan had not just flourished, but now had expanded into a proper base of operations for the lone time traveler. But in this timeline, the ticking clock is not just an abstract count. In Mactan, it is a silent pressure felt in the humid night air. For the Luzon-Visayas coalition, a sudden geopolitical crisis is unfolding from within. Datu Lapulapu, the legendary chieftain who stood as the first bulwark against Western imperialism, is dying. Historically, pre-colonial Philippine leadership was not a matter of rigid dynastic bloodlines or parchment-decreed inheritance. It was governed by the uncompromising doctrine of prowess. Authority belonged to the men of prowess, leaders whose legitimate right to rule was earned and negotiated through demonstrated tactical performance, spiritual connection, and economic capability. Our scout ranger, call sign Horizon Actual, has spent 2 years proving his prowess to the Visayas. He successfully outmaneuvered Magellan's armor. He resolved the metallurgical bottleneck to cast heavy iron cannons. And he arbitrated the historic Tondo Accord to unite the warring northern and southern chiefdoms. As Lapu-Lapu's strength wanes, the eyes of the Mactan Council do not look to blood heirs. They look to the soldier from the future. To lead this coalition, the Ranger cannot act as a foreign military advisor any longer. He cannot rule from a bureaucratic distance. He must become a sovereign part of the land. The transition is sealed not by a crown or an imperial decree, but through a Pulong, the traditional consultative assembly of equals. Here, the Ranger adapts to early Filipino sociological realities. He abandons the rigid, top-down military hierarchies of the future and sits cross-legged on the woven abaca mat, lowering his eyes to meet the datus at eye level. An elder smith steps forward, holding a wet, royal crimson putong headband. In Visayan society, this crimson dye, extracted from the native dilaw and tayum plants, represents the highest tier of warrior honor and Dayao. Beside him, the new holder's hands clasp a ceremonial wooden tubay spear alongside the Visayan elders. This is the sealing of the Blood Compact, a covenant bound by Kapwa, shared identity, and utang na loob, reciprocal gratitude. The ranger does not take power. He accepts a sacred duty of mutual protection. Horizon Actual looks on to the people that gathered. They were plenty from the distant lands of the north and the new chieftains that had signed the pact under him. He sees the roots of what would be a unified archipelago. He looks at them proud and ready to guide them, to see them prosper under one banner. He sees a future where they can be named under a unified name and identity, not because of a distant king who has never seen nor set foot within these sands. He asked himself if he was ready, but one thing he does know is that under this miracle brought in by God, that he would guide these isles into a proud and strong nation, one that will no longer fear the people of the oceans, and where they can live and dictate the ways of not just their lands, but also their waters. By this spear, and under the eyes of our ancestors, I pledge my life to these islands. We are no longer separate outriggers fighting each other. We are on the same boat. If the invaders return to burn our shores, they will find no fragmented villages easy to conquer. Under my watch, they will find a single, unified people. Long live the Datu. As the newly ascended Datu of Mactan, the ranger can now execute systemic strategic reforms that would have once been rejected by decentralized barangays. His first move is to reorganize the traditional pre-colonial system of warfare. Historically, Visayan warriors fought in seasonal, localized raids, known as pangangayo, driven by individual Datu seeking personal prestige and captives. Datu Horizon Actual transforms this capability. He created the archipelago's first professional standing army, the Mactan Ghost Force, more of a special unit force that will carry on the doctrine of the Philippine Scout Rangers of our modern timeline. First, standardized training. A soldier of the newly formalized Ghost Force must be able to operate in small squads and inflict maximum damage towards the enemy's morale, while also being able to not just delay, but hold off a larger military force in terrains like the dense canopy of the jungle and the raging waters of their homeland. These soldiers are not just to wait for orders, but they are to have a large degree of autonomy when executing their missions and achieving their objectives. Second, conditioning. From grueling physical exercise to make sure that each soldier in the Ghost Force is capable of operating in a desirable standard, the Ranger would make sure that each warrior is trained daily. As salaried soldiers, the Scout Ranger would make sure that training will become a way of life for these warriors. From trekking the jungles and swimming, these warriors are trained to operate effectively within such environments. With each training, their skills and capabilities are improved and are able to effectively operate under mission parameters. Lastly, a trained force like this will only shine within battle experience. As such, the Ranger will use the new Caracoa ships to conduct peacekeeping operations, pirate hunts, and even regional warfares to ensure that his forces aren't just trained, but proven. Ensuring that their newfound peace and growing unification are able to be kept and made secured for the upcoming future to come, when the empires of the Old World look upon the Asiatic waters. Training in the mud and lashing rain of the jungle coves, the Ghost Force learns modern infantry doctrine. The Ranger adapts their equipment to the wet, swampy mangrove environment. He rejects the heavy, restricting Spanish steel morion helmets and breastplates. Under the wet canopy, metal rusts, reflects light, and restricts movement. Instead, they refine their ancestral barote armor, quilted and knotted intricately from thick braided abaca fibers. It is lightweight, completely waterproof, and robust enough to deflect Spanish cutlasses and spear points. Close quarters combat is systematically re-engineered. The ancient circular strikes of Eskrima and Kali are merged with modern Special Forces hand-to-hand combat drills. The musketeers do not fire at random. They practice coordinated volley fire so that they hit their targets where yields the most amount of damage. Unifying Mactan is only the first phase. To withstand the global weight of the coming Spanish Empire, the coalition's industrial defense must be self-sustaining. With his sovereign Datu status secured, Horizon Actual formalizes the economic pipeline of the Tondo Accord. Mactan's specialized workshop became the technological core of the archipelago. In exchange for the new rifles, muskets, and cannons, the wealthy merchant foundries of Maynila and Tondo guarantee an uninterrupted pipeline of high-carbon steel, sulfur, and saltpeter. By anchoring modern ballistics in the pre-colonial values of Kapwa and Bayanihan, the Ranger has done what 3 centuries of colonial occupation historically prevented. He has started the creation of the foundations of his own Bayan. 40 years before the sails of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi ever appear on the horizon, the fragmented chiefdoms of the past have vanished. In their place stands a synchronized, technologically fortified sovereign shield. This has been a tactical situation report from Philippine Re-Horizon. If you want to see how this newly crowned Datu leads his standing army to defend their shores against the first regional empires, hit that subscribe button and join our community. The inception of the Mactan Ghost Force represents a systemic shift away from the decentralized nature of tribal skirmishing. Consider the psychological impact on European forces when, instead of fragmented villages, they face a professionalized native infantry utilizing modern tactical doctrines and asymmetrical guerrilla maneuvers. Elcano reports to the Spanish king about what happened to Magellan.